Every time a major wildfire tears through California, Hawaii, or Texas, the same claim surfaces within hours. Lasers. Secret government lasers, fired from the sky. Millions of people share these posts. The images look convincing. The theory sounds almost plausible. But here's the thing, it falls apart the moment you actually check. I'm going to show you exactly where this conspiracy comes from, why it keeps coming back, and what's really behind those strange burn patterns that fuel the theory. First, let's be clear about something. Directed energy weapons are real. The US military actually has them. They're not science fiction. They exist. These systems can disable drones. They can detonate explosives from a distance. The technology is documented. You can read the defense contracts yourself. So when someone says directed energy weapons started the Maui fires, they're building on a kernel of truth. That's what makes this conspiracy so sticky. The question isn't whether these weapons exist. The question is whether anyone is actually using them to start wildfires. And that's where the whole thing collapses. Let's trace the timeline. Wildfire theories first gained real traction during the devastating California fires of 2017 and 2018, including the deadly Camp Fire. The damage from those fires was genuinely horrific. Entire neighborhoods reduced to ash while single trees stood untouched. Cars melted into the pavement. It looked apocalyptic. And when people see damage that strange, they search for explanations. Ordinary fire doesn't seem capable of this selective destruction. Something else must be responsible. Enter the conspiracy. Within days of major wildfires, social media floods with images claiming to show laser beams striking the ground. Secret weapons targeting civilians. These posts accumulate millions of views. They get shared by influencers, politicians, and everyday people who genuinely believe they've uncovered something sinister. August 2023 brought the deadliest US wildfire in over a century. The Maui fires killed over 100 people and destroyed the historic town of Lahainina. Within 48 hours, theories exploded across every platform. TikTok, X, Facebook, Telegram. The pattern repeated perfectly from 2018, just faster and bigger. February 2024 saw the Texas Smokehouse Creek fire, the largest in that state's history. And yes, the laser claims appeared immediately, following the now familiar script. Then January 2025, the Los Angeles fires. Once again, viral posts claiming directed energy weapons ignited the blazes spread faster than the actual flames. The conspiracy has become automatic. Fire breaks out. Within hours, someone posts evidence. It goes viral. Fact-checkers respond. Believers dismiss the debunks. Repeat. So what does the actual evidence show? Let's start with the investigations. Multi-agency teams examined the Maui disaster for months. Their conclusion was unambiguous. Downed power lines. That's it. Power lines fell during extreme winds, were later re-energized by the utility company, and ignited dry vegetation. A preventable tragedy, but not a conspiracy. The Texas Smokehouse Creek fire? Same story. Official investigators determined power lines started that blaze too. Infrastructure failure, not secret weapons. But what about all those images supposedly showing laser beams striking the ground? Surely some of that evidence is legitimate? Let's look at the most viral one. One image shared millions of times claims to show a DU beam hitting California during the fires. There's just one problem. It's actually from a SpaceX rocket launch. That image was captured in 2018 during an entirely routine rocket launch. Someone later added captions claiming it showed a laser strike. The internet did the rest. Another viral photo claimed to show duty damage patterns from above. Perfect lines of destruction that could only come from a precision weapon. Except, that image actually showed controlled burns at an oil refinery in Ohio. From years before the fires it was supposedly proving. Once again, completely unrelated footage repurposed as evidence. Here's the pattern. Real images from unrelated events get stripped of context, given new captions, and presented as proof. By the time fact-checkers respond, the damage is done. And then there's the blue items theory. This one claims that lasers specifically spare blue-colored objects because the wavelength can't burn that color. It sounds scientific. Posts show blue cars, blue umbrellas, blue tarps surviving, while everything around them burned. The conclusion seems obvious. These were targeted attacks avoiding certain wavelengths. PolitiFact investigated this claim thoroughly. Their verdict? The color of objects has nothing to do with wildfire survival. The theory fundamentally misunderstands how fire works. Fire spreads through convection, radiation, and direct contact with burning material. Whether something survives depends on wind direction, fuel proximity, and pure random chance, not its paint color. You can find red objects, green objects, even white objects that survived the same fires. The Blue Items posts just cherry-pick examples that fit the narrative while ignoring everything else. Real fire behavior experts have explained this for years. Wildfires are chaotic. They create their own wind patterns. They jump from fuel source to fuel source unpredictably. Two houses side by side can have completely different fates based on which way the wind shifted for 10 seconds. One burns, one doesn't. No laser required. Now, here's what makes this conspiracy particularly resilient. It doesn't just claim something happened. It claims that evidence against it is part of the cover-up. Fact-checkers debunking the claims? Paid off by the government. Official investigations finding power lines? Part of the conspiracy. It's designed to be unfalsifiable. But let's apply basic logic. If the government had secret weapons that could start fires anywhere, why announce it by creating obvious, inexplicable burn patterns? Why target random neighborhoods in Hawaii? Why leave evidence like surviving blue objects? The theory requires believing in a simultaneously all-powerful and incompetent conspiracy. And critically, military-directed energy weapons don't work like the conspiracy claims. They're massive. They require enormous power. They're designed for pinpoint precision against small targets. Starting a wildfire doesn't require precision. A downed power line does it. A campfire does it. A car's catalytic converter does it. Why would anyone need a space laser? The real explanation is always simpler. Climate conditions create drier vegetation. Aging power infrastructure fails during extreme winds. Human activity provides ignition sources. Fires spread. But simple explanations don't go viral. They don't give people a villain to blame. They don't offer the satisfaction of having secret knowledge that they don't want you to know. This might be the real story here. Not the fires themselves, but why certain explanations spread while others don't. Why conspiracy beats complexity every time. Researchers who study misinformation have identified a pattern. Do theories spike precisely when people feel helpless, when disasters seem random and authorities seem unable to prevent them. A secret weapon, paradoxically, is easier to accept than pure bad luck. At least a weapon implies someone is in control. Someone could be stopped. The randomness of reality is harder to face. Some researchers argue do theories serve another function. They distract from climate change. If secret weapons cause fires, we don't have to confront harder truths about our warming planet. This isn't to say everyone who shares these theories has malicious intent. Many genuinely believe they're uncovering truth. The problem is the information ecosystem that rewards viral content over accuracy. Platforms algorithmically boost content that generates engagement. Conspiracy theories generate enormous engagement. The incentive structure practically guarantees these claims will spread. By the time fact-checkers publish corrections, the original claim has reached millions. The correction might reach thousands. The math always favors the conspiracy. So what can you actually do when you see these claims? First and most important, check the source of viral images before sharing. Trace them back to their origin. That laser beam photo? A reverse image search would show it's from a SpaceX launch? That dewy image aerial shot? Easily traced to an unrelated Ohio refinery. Official fire investigation reports are public records. You can actually read them. They're detailed, they're boring. And they consistently identify mundane causes, power lines, equipment failures, human activity. Usual burn patterns are completely normal in wildfires. Wind shifts, terrain affects fire spread, vegetation varies. Houses survive next to houses that didn't. It looks strange because fire behavior is chaotic. Remember that real do-yous exist but work nothing like the conspiracy claims. They're building-sized systems requiring massive power. They're precision tools for military applications, not wildfire-starting machines. Ask yourself why a theory might be appealing to believe. Conspiracy offers certainty in chaos. It provides villains when we want someone to blame. Understanding this makes you harder to fool. When you see someone sharing do-you claims, consider responding with questions rather than arguments. Where did that image come from originally? Is more effective than you're wrong. The infrastructure failures that actually cause most wildfires are real problems worth attention. Power companies need accountability. Grids need modernization. These are solvable issues that deserve focus. Climate conditions making fires worse are also real. Drier vegetation, longer fire seasons, more extreme weather, these create genuine challenges that conspiracy theories distract from. Every major wildfire will continue generating these claims. The pattern is now predictable. Fire happens. Theories appear within hours. They'll spread before fact-checkers can respond. Your best defense is knowing the pattern in advance. When the next disaster strikes and the evidence floods your feed, you'll recognize it immediately for what it is. The directed energy weapon wildfire conspiracy is built on real technology misunderstood, real images misattributed, and real human needs, for certainty, for villains, for control. The theory keeps coming back because it scratches psychological itches that the truth can't reach. But the truth is still the truth. Power lines, dry vegetation, extreme winds. Every claim checked, every image traced, every investigation reviewed. The verdict? There's no mystery here, just the same old story the internet keeps trying to make more exciting than it is. Next time you see a viral post about space lasers, you'll know exactly what you're looking at. And that knowledge, that's the real power you can take from this.